should also add just one additional note. Everything you were saying here, of course, Representative Pierce is here to listen to you. We are also recording if you'd like to share the comments that were made tonight with Senator Britt as well, and to make that kind of available to him so he knows what was on top of people's minds tonight. So just be cognizant of the recording in the back as well. So the first person that we have to speak tonight is David Frump. Is that you, sir? Would you be willing to come up to the front here, sir? And folks, give Mr. Frump a round of applause. It is not easy to be the first person to speak.
Thank you. Actually, I wasn't planning on speaking. It's good to be here. I just have a question. And the question pertains to schools, primarily schools. And I'm curious about what's happening in the legislature about the Leandro case and how the budget is moving in that direction. The courts have declared that a great deal of money is owed to the poor counties, Hope being one of them. And Hope County has had a tremendous amount of growth, lots and lots of houses being built, lots and lots of people moving in, and there's really not very much action in building schools or planning ahead for schools. We've got a high school that's going to be built pretty soon, but I don't see elementary schools coming, and the number of houses that have been built and planned to be built are just staggering. So we need schools, and Leandro, I guess, is going to be the best issue. I don't even need the benefit.
Thank you. And is everyone familiar with the term Leandro? Pretty much everybody? No, okay, I see some no's. So, Leandro, and sir, you correct me if I'm wrong if I get any part of this incorrect, and I know Ms. Jackie McLean may come in and explain in a moment. She is missing in action, but we'll find her here in a moment. Oh, there we go. Ms. McLean. Wondering if you'd just be willing to explain Leandro to the folks real quick. Mr. Frump talked about Leandro. If you'd be willing to give us a quick summary of what it means for folks who aren't familiar.
Greetings, everyone. Leandro is only the one hot topic that's been circling around North Carolina for over 30 years with no resolve. The court has already deemed and let it be known that we deserve, as children of North Carolina, deserve the monies that was deemed to be used to give our students, particularly Hope County. Now, of course, you guys got to know, Leandro is definitely the birthplace of Hope County. And it was named for Rob Leandro, whose parents, while they were pretty progressive and maintains that, they still saw the need in the community that was missing in Hope County school system. There was a time when we were getting busloads of books, used books coming from Cumberland County and dumped at our doorstep for our kids. So we were getting secondhand material, secondhand use at best. And the courts deemed that our students was not getting their fair share of an adequate education. The very basics of education, meaning that they should have books, adequate classrooms, skilled, highly qualified teachers, which we're still battling, in order for them to get an opportunity to see what their future looked like from having a sound basic education. And so with that, we went to court, we won, and it was told to cut the check, pay the children. That has not happened. So as I was saying to Gino earlier, you just kind of think of this scenario as civilians. You commit a crime, you go to court. The court finds you guilty, they assess you. You're gonna pay a penalty, you're gonna pay a fine. They give you a certain amount of time to pay the fine. You don't pay the fine, you get charged with contempt of court, typically, right? Right? A warrant is issued for your arrest, correct? Yeah. Right? Because the court has already said that you're guilty, right? So how is it that the General Assembly continues to disregard the court ruling and nothing is being done about it? So how do you say you are pro-education when you deny the very basic foundations of what it takes for our students to ensure a very basic, sound, basic education? That is what Leandro is about. That is what we continue to fight about. Not just Hope County, but it's across the state of North Carolina. And Hope County at that time happened to be one of the poor counties. While we have grown exponentially in Hope County, our school systems still aren't where we would have them to be, where we would desire them to be. You know? But in order to do what we need to do, we need those fundings. So if you have any input with your representatives, we see Representative Garland Pierce here. We talk to him. He understands. He knows I'll say what I need to say. I just wish Britt was here because I've not had an opportunity to ask him why is he fighting this. I've not had an opportunity to ask him, why won't you help us give our kids the very best of education? Why won't you release that money? I just like an answer.
We'll do our best to get you an answer. And we've got someone, the next person who wants to speak about. Yes, we're going to we'll give it right to you real quick. I just want to say very quickly that one of the kind of the straight answer on the current budget that's in negotiation doesn't currently have funding allocated to meet the Leandro requirements. So was there just brief, about 30 seconds?
Okay. I still have a minute left.
Oh, yes.
Actually, it's not a rebuttal, just maybe a clarification. This Leandro has been going on for 30 years, and neither the Democratic legislature nor the Republican legislature has done anything about it, anything significant. So it's not just those guys, it's those guys and those guys. It's sort of like
Thank you all. Thank you, Ms. McClain, for giving that explanation, since I know folks needed it. Now I'm going to invite up Mr. Ledgerton next, and then if you are ready to speak next, make sure you got your hand ready to be raised.
I just want to give you a little bit background about Leandro. What's that?
Please introduce yourself.
I'm sorry?
Please introduce yourself.
Okay. Yes, I'm Reverend Mac Ledgerton in Robinson County. The Leandro case, some of you know the name Angus Thompson, attorney in Lumberton. Some of you may know the name Dexter Brooks, and some of you may know the name Julian Pierce. Those three attorneys work with us in Robinson County. Our first lawsuit, and I actually went out to find some of the complainants for it, was because we had 5 school systems in Robinson County that were very segregated, and this was in the 1980s. So we went to court with legal aid and other assistance to try to get those systems merged so all the kids could have the same school books, the same resources in every school in the county. Well, we lost that case because the judge, and he ruled right, that there was nothing in the Constitution of the North Carolina Constitution that required equal education. And the judge was right. There is nothing in there until work's been done. So we actually got those 5 school systems merged. The legislature approved us having a local election, and we won that with a lot of resistance from some of the 4 municipalities that had their own school systems. So when we won that vote, we then had to turn to the statewide issue. The issue is we don't have state finance school systems. Most of the money, as you know, comes from our local taxes. So our poor counties like Robinson, Hope, Scotland, and many others, our rural counties, we don't have the same tax base to support our schools that the urban areas do, and that's where the inequity lies, and that's what Leandro is about, just balancing out some of these inequities. And we don't have a lot of things for our rural communities. Public defender system, Robinson, Scotland, we worked for 6 years. We have the first rural public defender system in the state. And our citizens got organized, a multiracial coalition, and it took us 6 years to get that established. Most other rural counties don't have that either. They rely on court-appointed attorneys. So there's a lot of things like our schools where we are really discriminated against and treated inequitable by both political parties in many respects on many of these social issues. So that's some of the background of Leandro and how important it is for all of us. You know, there's an old saying, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And a politician is quoted as that, but she didn't originate that quote. But, you know, democracy is like, and this is the last, I won't speak later, democracy is like a blank table. They say it's a moral system and the best moral system in the world, but it's only moral when you get involved. If you're not actively involved in organizing relationships to create influence, then we're not going to have any impact on the political system. So we've got to get ourselves more organized locally. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Ledgerton. I appreciate it. Folks, that is a lot of good information. We are now going to move to whoever wants to speak next. You don't only have to speak about schools. You can take this time to speak about whatever you want, but if you do have something you want to talk about when it comes to our schools, that time is open. So who would like to speak next? Don't be shy. Yeah, come on through. We exhausted the list of folks who wanted to speak from the beginning, but we are cooking with gas now, so, and please feel free to introduce yourself when you come up and where you're coming from tonight.
Hi, my name is Janice Patton. I live in Hope County, and I'm speaking in part right now for my friend who's with me, who is blind. We really need to do more for disabled people in our communities. It needs to be the standard, not what's done as an afterthought, because every single one of us, as we age, will become disabled in some way. You know, people tend to think that we'll always be young and beautiful. Well, we might still be beautiful, but young tends to fade away eventually. and even if you think you're healthy right now, you could be one car accident away from being disabled. So that's one thing that I think it really needs to be addressed in our society. And then just since I'm up here and everybody else is kind of holding back a little bit, I'm also concerned about LGBTQ issues. I'm concerned about gerrymandering. I'm concerned about reproductive rights. I'm concerned about equality for all of our people, not just the ones whose money is in their pockets.
Thank you very much for raising that. Especially when it comes to issues around disability, I think that is too often ignored, so I appreciate you raising that. Were you wanting to speak next? Oh, I didn't know if you were trying to get my attention.
No.
You sure? Come on up. We're having a community conversation here, y'all, so I appreciate you taking the time. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Bonnie Kelly. I'm from Scotland County. I taught for 35 years at UNC Pembroke. I came up here from Georgia, and I like North Carolina, but I'm not satisfied with what's happening in our state. And I'll tell you, I'm probably the only gay person in this room, but in 2014, my wife and I got to get married. And we had been together for over 20 years already, but we didn't have the protection that married people have. And I can't tell you what it means to have that marriage certificate. We can file jointly on our taxes. You know, we can do so many things and have the protections when she goes to the hospital or I go to the hospital. It's important, people, to stand up for the edges. We're finished. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And it is important to know, based off your testimony, ma'am, there were 4 different bills passed this year. I won't try to remember the numbers for you because I'll definitely get them wrong, but 4 different bills that impact especially LGBTQ children in this state. that have passed in this session, and we're happy in our email afterward to share the details about those bills so that you can learn more about them. And if one of you who is here who does want to speak more on that, please feel free. Thank you very much, ma'am. Who would like to speak next? Don't be shy. Oh, yes, come on up. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Betty Perkins, and I'm from Polk County. I just have a question to the legislators, lawmakers, and all that good stuff. The North Carolina State Lottery. When they told us that the lottery was coming to North Carolina, they said it was going to be a certain amount of money put towards education. With all of these millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars that are coming up with the lottery, where's the money for education? And how is it divvied out? That I just need to know.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody who would like to speak to that point? I am not an expert on the lottery, so if there's folks who consider themselves to be the expert on the lottery, or we'll save that and maybe leave the question for you, Representative Pierce, here at the end. Sorry, not to put the pressure on you, but just to say you may know better than we do. I appreciate that. But, ma'am, we will note that question, and we'll make sure to get you an answer afterward, too, if nobody addresses it here. All right. So we got a question about the lottery. We got schools. We talked about LGBTQ issues in the state, disability. Who would like to speak next? Yeah, come on up, sir. I mean, y'all are teaching me a thing or two. I didn't even really know much about that lottery. Yeah, sorry about the light, too.
Sorry. I'm a local comedian, so I'm used to bad lighting everywhere. So I won't. My name is Patrick O'Hara. That's not for self-promotion. I'm just excited to introduce myself. But anyway, I live in Hope County. There's a lot of dudes in Congress, local Congress and stuff, who want to talk about reproductive rights and how they want to rescind a lot of reproductive rights for women. I, as a man, also want to support women and say that that's wrong. I don't want to rescind reproductive rights for women. I want to support women and have them make their own choice on reproductive rights. I want you guys to make your own choices on that. I am pro-choice. I am pro-choice for women. I don't think old men in Congress should be making that decision. I think adult men should be making their own choices.
That's true.
On wearing a condom, is what I think. You know what I mean? That's what I think. And I think that's what I wanted to say on that. So that social issue, and I also support LGBTQ plus rights and all social issues as well. I love all people. I think all people deserve the same respect as everybody else too. I just think that issue can't be any issue that can't be spoke of enough, and I want to hear more about that from local politicians. I don't want to hear any more about taking rights away from people. I want to see more people get more rights. That's what I want to see. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And we learned about you a little bit more than we did everybody else tonight, so I appreciate you sharing. I'm just joking. Appreciate you sharing, sir. Appreciate you taking the time. Who would like to speak next? Yeah, come on up.
I'm Loretta Renee McNeil. I simply want to talk from the cradle to what was spoke on in the beginning to our senior years. What's really important to me is having behavior and mental health in our school systems. And the reason for that is that already we've seen suspensions in our schools, and we've got to not let that be our first result. And we've got to come up with some answers that really deal with the root of the problem. I've been a 30-year volunteer at schools across the United States. And what I have discovered is that if we can get some one-on-one dealing with our young people, and that one young person that's here happens to be one of our young people from Scotland County, and you can just see how productive people are when they have an opportunity to speak with someone who really cares. As we sit in the room here and we talk about our issues, we got to remember our babies, because that saying is, who rocks the cradles? The hands that rock the cradle rules the world. And it's so true. We must definitely start dealing with some of the issues that we're having, not only at our high schools, at our colleges, but in our middle schools. Some kind of what we need to have, as we have scholarship counselors, or we have guidance counselors, we need to deal strictly with behavioral health and mental health, because that is a part of all of us. And at any point, we're one step away, as was stated, from having disabilities, and that would be a part of disabilities. I did want to just add, it's very important that we do look at disability. And the reason why is because there goeth I, there goeth we. It's been said already, so I won't elaborate further on it, but we ought to be in the forefront of planning for issues that's going to affect, not if not you, the person sitting beside you. Again, thank you for the floor.
I know you work with a lot of our youth in Warrenburg very closely, so thank you. Come on through, man. Don't be blinded by the light.
She asked me when I came in if I wanted to speak in front of the camera. I said no. She said, but you have such a cute top on. I told her, you can get my top now. I really did not have any plan to get up here, but thank you very much for bringing up that situation with suspensions, and you're going to have to use that. Please finish for me on this one. I don't want to see another group do another study on suspension and how to handle suspension. The statistics with the disparagement, the gap is the same in 2023 as it was in 1954. So there should not be another strict strategic planning group to study suspension. The answer is to look at things, change particularly adult behaviors, because the kids basically just need the respect, they need the support, they need different strategies. I'm going to mention one other thing, and to me, well, two things. When I walk into a principal's office, and I was one, why do you have this king-size I'm the king desk? That's not inviting to your community. So part of the problem is schools are not inviting. When we go to a school board meeting, all the school board is sitting together at a table in suits. That's not inviting to the community, because we're all sitting there looking like me. And it's things, little things, that cause the communities to be involved and to feel welcome in coming to a school. I was in a district in Washington State, and they had a new superintendent come in. I was the only minority administrator in the district. They told me the day after they hired me, that they didn't have any because they had just had a lynch mob thing, a mock lynching. Now here I was getting hired. But the new superintendent that came in, his goals were clear. And he had a meeting one day, and he wanted all the administrators to come in. He said, I don't have time to talk to anybody. I will be in my office. We came in. Everybody, as they came in, they got a book. It's one of the best books ever, Alternatives to Suspension. I think it's 13th edition now. He didn't say a word. The message was clear. Suspension rates dropped about 10% that next month. Put your job on the line. If those rates don't drop, hit your paycheck. Watch them suspension rates drop. You can't put a kid out of school for 10 days and then expect him to come back and be able to catch up and in step, because you now have created a behavior problem. So thank you for bringing that up. I had no intention. All right, my
The top is cute, my friend. And because I'm sensing a theme, I just want to take a poll. I mean, how many of you, regardless of what you specifically think, are concerned about the direction of our schools? Raise your hand. No, many of you. Many of you. And that has been a topic of hot discussion in the legislature this year. In a number, you want to speak next, sir? Yeah, start coming on up. There's a number of bills, we'll share this with you in an email afterward, that will impact school curriculum, that will impact the interactions of teachers and students at the state level, and we'll make sure to share that information about those bills with you all afterward as well.
I'm A.W. Ball with the superintendent of Scotland County, and I felt like I was putting y'all finger. I felt like you was pointing your finger at the school, because come next week, and I'm just transparent, you're probably going to read the paper and we're going to be a few kids get suspended for more than 10 days. It is not the goal of the school to suspend kids. I don't want to suspend kids. MTSS, PBIS, it all comes down to good people. When you find good people that can relate to kids, suspensions don't happen. When you find good parents, suspensions don't happen. That's right. The school cannot raise kids from 8 to 3:30. That's right. There has to be an accountability model. It is not my goal or the goal of principals to suspend kids. I cannot say that loud enough. But if you was here Friday night, when that riot broke out at Scotland High School, and it scared a community, I wish I could bring a one-on-one person. I wish I could get the best behavior support person. I wish I could have the best counselor to be with that kid. But when there's no parent involved, we cannot penalize 90% of the kids that's going to do right for 10%. People expect the schools to be miracle workers. I'm going to tell you right now, not one teacher, not one administrator, and sure not the superintendent have a magic wand. If I could walk by and tap kids on the head and say, you're a 4.0, you're a great kid, and I love baseball, and you bat 400. Don't happen like that. They wake up every day to do the best job they can. But most people don't go into place and take the place of teachers. You have to hear people talk about we're not doing enough. There's never enough money. There's never enough parent participation. But yet, we are accountable and they're getting paid at the lower of the totem pole. And then we get in the audience and make teachers feel like you don't want them. It's not good enough. It's never enough. Can we do better? Absolutely. Is every suspension that we have right? No. But look at the community. That's why we all here trying to make our community better. But don't look at the school, because it is a mirror of the community that it's in. So if you're going to say that we shouldn't do this and shouldn't do that, go be a teacher. Go teach. It is always wise to have parental involvement. Oh, yes. It ain't the kids that were parental involvement. That ain't the kids that's getting suspended. I was a principal of a 2300 high school, and I cut out parent-teacher conference one year, and nobody said a word. Now, discipline gonna get better when you hold kids accountable. That's right. As soon as this paper come out and kids know there's a parameter, because most kids really want accountability. And once, in my experience, now I'm not perfect. In my experience, when you hold a kid accountable, now you can't hold kids accountable without relationships. Right. Relationship starts at the top. Right. Relationship is number one. Parental involvement. But if you take discipline out, and now with Senate Bill 49, and it is so nervous of teachers scared to react. You can't play ball playing slow. If a teacher hesitates to the point of self-care, hesitates to talk to a kid because they're scared they're going to be sued, or scared the board is not going to support them, scared, then the kids got all the control. We're going to take now, Scotland County, we're taking our schools back. I'm going to be the big bad bear that everybody's mad at because they're saying suspensions is too much. I'm going to have to take that this year. But I'll put my name, my reputation on it. After this year, it's going down. Test scores going to go up. Suspensions going to go down. But this year,
on that. I did not support the lottery. So now what they did with the money, I have no idea, but I can find out and I will research it for you. Gambling is something you cannot legislate morality. So people want to gamble, they're going to gamble. They don't want to gamble, they're going to gamble. I get that. But at the same time, if we sell people a bill of goods, that this is what's going to happen with money, we need to live up to that and do just what we said we're going to do. The question was a good question that you asked. Well, where's the money? Leandro's another situation. The governor and the House, like I said, I'm not getting ready to do this tonight. I'm not getting ready to say, because Jackie made the point. Democrats had the same opportunity to do the same thing too. Am I right, Jackie? So we don't need, I'm not blaming anybody. We all, if I'm a legislator just like Daddy, whatever happens in Raleigh, y'all call us all out, and I don't have a problem with that because we all up there and we're trying to make a difference. But Leandro, I hope that's something that we can square away, and that's a military term. Hope we can square it away pretty soon. But if there any other questions, I know I just kind of went places, but I just want to be fair about Raleigh. I've been up there 19 years. I have relationship with people that makes it. There's so many issues that I have been able to, and I'm going to just crow about it, that I've been able to help people with getting their houses fixed, getting them to go up to Carolina to get surgery when they did not have money. So do know that we do more than just a few little things. People call on us to do so many things in their life. You'll be surprised if I can just give you all the emails that I have. But is there any questions? Because I want to go all over the place, but if there's any issue that I don't mind speaking to it, because whatever it is, I'm glad to speak to it tonight. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Representative Pierce. We've had conversations before. So following the budget negotiations right now, the two main sticking points that I've seen discussed are legalization of marijuana and gambling casinos.
Marijuana is off the table. Everything now is about 4 casinos. That is the issue.
Okay.
Senator Berger says that's what he wants. I think he has the juice to do it.
Right.
So that's the issues. Just casinos as we speak this afternoon. Those are the issues, and you've been watching what's happened because this is a nonpartisan event. But half of the Republican Party did not want it, and that put a problem in the whole situation.
Right,
31 of them said no, and 41 said yes. You need 61 votes to pass anything.
Right. Yeah, they want to have a veto-proof budget. But what is your personal stance on the gambling and the casinos? And I've heard that it's also being expanded to the video poker games again too. So at the end of the legislation, we'll have the little, strip mall parlors as well as the 4 casinos for the state. So what's your personal take on that?
What's going to happen with that is it's in the total budget. I can't sink Medicaid expansion for gambling casinos. My priority this year, like meeting you at City of Raleigh, Medicaid. So if Medicaid's in that budget, I'm prepared to do what I need to do to get Medicaid to people who are sick and who need help. So if that's in there, they're not going to take it out. I can't. It's just too much. It's money in there for education. It's money in there for. It's just so $30 billion, billion with a B, is a lot of money to come back to our community. So, what else can I do? If y'all tell me here today to vote no against the budget, no. I'm in Raleigh. I've got to figure out what's best for the district that I serve. And that's what, over 19 years, that's what I did. And I think I did a great job doing just what I could to make a difference. You can't please everybody. So I'll just wait and see, because I don't know what's going to happen. It might not be in there, it might be a standalone meeting. So we'll see. Yes.
think he's asking me a question. might not want to hear it, but go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
Why don't charter schools have to obey or go by the same rules as public schools?
Hold just a minute. Stay right there. Stay right there. Superintendent, I can answer it, but I know you can do it better. But let me do my part. No, ma'am, they do not have to go by the same thing as public schools. They are not held to this. Ma'am,
Are they not?
that's a good word. They are public schools, but they're not. Superintendent, you just come back up. Because I'd rather see you. I can articulate, but we pay you and stop the Canada. That's my cousin, so I ain't got that with. But that's a good question. That is a good question. Thank you.
All the politicians. So they are the same in educated kids, but after that, they're not. If you look at the licensure part, there's only a certain percentage of teachers at a private or charter school that has to be licensed. When we say highly qualified for a public school, we have to have information. Yes, like for instance, the first 10 days ended yesterday. And we get paid based on that ADM. So kids that's in that charter school get the same kind of money we get. But if they have a discipline issue and suspended, they don't have to take them back. They come to the public school, but the money don't follow. The money stays. So not only when you talk about licensure, you talk about discipline, and then it's testing. They don't get the letter grades. Not all of them don't get the letter grades that the schools get. USC schools get A, B, C, D, which is a travesty. That's something we need to talk about. When schools get letter grades, it's not fair. It's not apples to apples, oranges to oranges. So you asking, that's okay. But charter schools aren't the same. Funded, they get the same access to the money we get, but held at a lower standard.
So are not the kids required to take EOGs just like traditional public schools?
They take some. Now I can't speak like an expert on charter schools. So
Right. Well, I ran on the charter school in Hope County, so I'm pretty well versed on it.
Well,
And they meet EOGs, same standards,
they take the same standard, but they don't have the same qualifications of teachers. And then
Right,
they
you
not,
are correct. They don't have to have license, 100% license.
and then they don't have a subgroup.
But to say that they're tested different is incorrect. They
They
are
are.
the same North
The
Carolina
accountability-
education standard that a traditional public school is.
The accountability model, they do take a test. The accountability model is there. So when I say testing, if you got 30 kids that is in a subgroup, then your school is held at a different level. So if you don't have 30 low-level kids or 30 Hispanic kids or 30 of this, then you can't count it as a subgroup. So the state don't look at you and say, so you can get an A over here because you only got one subgroup. Whereas a Scotland High School, Hope County High School, Senior First may have 15 subgroups. And if you don't meet that subgroup here, you get a mark off your grade. Mark off your grade. Mark off your grade. You have 30 EC kids. So you'll see people play numbers with games when it comes to scheduling. Like if you was an unethical person, you could schedule well enough to get a letter grade. But you're gonna punish kids while you're doing it. So if you're really smart and you really don't care, put somebody in high school for 2 years. They can schedule it, get really good test scores, get this, and then they're gonna bounce. And then the kids will come behind them or something. But you are absolutely right. I'm sorry for misspeaking. I can own when I'm wrong. They do take EOGs and EOCs. The difference is the accountability. Absolutely right.
Elections have consequences. Can I say that again? Elections have consequences. Please register and vote. You know what I'm telling people? And I think it's because everybody, I'm telling people how to vote tonight. But go vote the first day. Hello? Go vote the first day. We got early voting, true. But something can come up. Then you spend time, we can only vote one day. Go vote the, hello, yep, I'm a preacher now, get with me. Go vote the first day. Take care of your business. Get it over with. And then because we leave too many votes on the table. I have seen people lose elections by one vote in this county twice. And when they asked them, did you go vote? Yeah, I went to vote. And they went back and checked the record, they had not voted. So go vote the first day. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope I haven't been brash. It was not my desire to be brash at all. But I do all that I can to make a difference in Raleigh and in the district. And that's just who I am. You've been knowing me for 19 years. Sure, I probably have something you didn't like, but I hope that most of what I did in Raleigh since I've been there has made a difference in Scotland and Hope County, Robinson, and Richmond. I used to represent 4 counties at one time. So good evening to you. I think they said they're ready to close the place down. Is that right? So yeah, but I got cards in my pocket. If anybody want to call me, I give one of my cards, and we can keep the conversation going. Thank you. God bless you.
Round of applause for Representative Pierce. Before y'all head out, I want to thank you again for coming. You had a bunch of cards on your chair. If you filled them out, it's a way that we're trying to learn more about what you care about. Please put those in the white magic box of mystery on your way out. You will receive an email from us after this. A lot of folks here, as we're packing up, feel free to talk to each other. But thank you for coming and participating. We appreciate y'all's time. Get home safe.